The RCWR Show with Lee Sanders is intended for a mature audience only. The following is an Infinity One Productions presentation, keeping it honest, insightful, and interactive. Covering the latest in wrestling and beyond since 2011. You're listening to the RCWR Show. Now, your host, live from the nation's capital in Washington, D.C., Lee Sanders.
Hey, good kind of people, what's going on? Checking out all new The RCWR Show for a Monday night of April 21st, 2021. We are here. It is Wrestlemania week. It is that one time out of the whole calendar year that I look forward to the most, but I gotta tell you, this is probably, I gotta actually take a step back and really think about it. I've thought about it off and on during the weekend, thought about it a little bit today, but I think of all the years that I have been podcasting, and I've been doing this since 2011. We're actually coming up on the 10th anniversary of the RCWR Show. It'll be our 10th anniversary this November. I think this has been one of the most chaotic, cumbersome weeks as far as wrestling content goes. I mean, I'm just really thinking about it. And I mean, we are pretty much going to be on every day this week, going all the way up until next Monday. And I think the closest we might have come to a record kind of like what we got going on right now, I think it was a couple of years ago, and we actually ended up being, wow, what was that? I think we did like maybe 5 shows back to back over 5 nights. I think it might have been something like that. So this is going to be a nice, fun challenge that we got coming up this week. I'm looking forward to it, though. I am. I'm looking forward to it. But, you know, as we're doing this, I'm letting y'all know right now, less is better. So I'm definitely going to be doing my best to conserve most of my strength and make sure that we are in and out, since there's just boatloads content that's going to be dropping this week, man. But yeah, WrestleMania week is here. I'm always excited when it comes to this. A lot of cool stuff to check out. Hell, not just necessarily from the WWE either. You also get to check out some stuff that's going on from other wrestling promotions as well. So a lot of cool stuff to look forward to. Hey, I want to hear from you guys as I'm live for the next little bit. We are streaming live on the Twitch. We got the YouTube. We got the Periscope. We got the Twitter. We got the Facebook. Did I mention the YouTube? Yeah, we got that as well. Just use the keywords, the RCWR Show. We're all over the place, man. All over the place. Got the chat room open as well, man. So, look, I got to be honest with you guys. Tonight's WWE RAW, although it had many parts where I honestly wish I could have hit the fast forward button, for the most part, I love the fact that WWE did really try to go out of their way and look at some of the marquee matches happening on the WrestleMania card this weekend and really give it that Mania Go-Home feel. Because you got to admit, the past couple of years, we really haven't had that Go-Home WrestleMania. Oh yeah, all these great matches that's happening. Oh, we get to look forward to this. We get to look forward to that. You know, this has to be that one time in recent years with regards to their Raw Mania Go-Home show where it actually felt okay. I won't say it felt fantastic. I won't say that it felt awesome. I won't say that it felt super fragilistic, exponentially nocious, or however the fuck that thing goes. I won't say it was all that, but, you know, you're like, okay, you're kind of bobbing your head a little bit at some points during tonight's 3-hour broadcast and saying, okay, I'm getting in the spirit here. It's putting me in a good mood here. You know, WrestleMania week, Raw's doing all right. Okay, they set the tone when it was all said and done. I still don't know how to feel about what's going on here with the Hurt Business. So many of us very vocal from last week about no, say it ain't so. Say it ain't the end of the Hurt Business. Surely we're going in a swerve right here. What's going on here? But I tell you what, the more and more that it's looking, kind of really feels as though it's not a swerve. By the way, was anybody else anticipating Brock Lesnar to close out tonight's WWE RAW? Don't feel bad. There was a little part of me that was maybe hoping there was going to be a serious swerve there. And seeing that match between Drew McIntyre, King Corbin, yeah, there's a little part of me that was thinking maybe, just maybe Brock Lesnar. And I know there's probably some of you guys, you still might be holding out hope. Y'all may be saying to yourselves, hey man, anything can happen at Mania, right? 2-night event, Mania, anything can happen. Maybe Brock Lesnar shows up at Mania, takes Drew out, and then we get Lesnar and Lashley for the WWE Championship. I don't blame you guys if you're holding out that long, but for me, after what I saw tonight, I've pretty much, I'm like at that table with some of you guys and we're playing a hand of poker and all that. You know, I'm just looking at the hand I'm dealing and I was looking for that one little trump card where I could just be like, Brock Lesnar, pop up on Raw. Didn't happen, so as a result, I'm pretty much like, I fold. I've pretty much cashed out for the night. Y'all want to keep playing that Lesnar, when Lesnar gonna pop up game. That's all on you, my pretty babies. Me, I'm out. I've cashed in my chips. I've just moved on. If it happens at WrestleMania, that will be a pleasant, nice surprise. But at this point, your man over here is not looking for it any longer. As far as I'm concerned, it is what it is. It just is what it is. But no, I actually thought that maybe there was going to be something that was going to happen there where maybe some more guys from the roster, you know, when you just, I'm not saying from the Raw roster specifically, but just the entire WWE roster. I thought for sure that maybe there was going to be just a implosion, an unloading of the locker room of guys just coming out there trying to beat the holy living crap out of Drew McIntyre. And there's Drew McIntyre fighting for his dear life. Because remember, it was just 2 weeks ago we saw Drew McIntyre. Is it you? Is it you that's trying to get in the face? Is it you that wants an opportunity? Take me out at WrestleMania, huh? You trying to step up to the plate? Here I am right here. Take your best shot. Go ahead. I'm right here. Do it like a man. Take me out. You know, I nobody. You know, maybe you could say Ricochet stepped up to the plate and whatever, but nobody unloaded on Drew McIntyre. So I was hoping that maybe in a twist of things tonight, that a roster would just unload. Just random mofos just come out and try to beat the holy living shit out of McIntyre. And somehow he's able to conquer all of these guys. But maybe Brock Lesnar just, I was hoping maybe something like that would happen. But like I told you guys, your man just went on ahead, cashed in his chips. Okay, it didn't happen tonight. I'm done. I'm out. I'm good. But the stuff there with the Hurt Business, I doubt it, but I'm holding out hope that maybe it's a swerve. But it sure as hell does not feel that way, does it? I mean, it just doesn't. And that for me, it's so funny because you look at WWE and I see that the number one topic over the weekend going into tonight, yeah, everybody was up in arms over the whole AEW faction debate and everything. And you know, I understand some of the points that people were making that were actually pro faction, but and when I say that, I want to make sure I'm choosing the right words carefully. You legitimately had those that presented compelling arguments on why, hey, seeing AEW spam out on the factions isn't so much of a bad hand as a lot of people are making it out to be. Here's the reasons why it's actually good. And some people were actually able to make good, compelling arguments. Believe it or not. Believe it or not, good, compelling arguments. But for me, I still feel the same as I did from last week when we were talking about the whole deal, right? But it's so interesting here tonight as I find myself, I go, man, in the case of WWE, you had one of the best things that was going on in your company in the hurt business. And let's be honest, it didn't start off all cylinders popping from the get-go. You know, we got there in a couple of months. It was almost like you go to the store, you're trying to find that nice, good pack of ground beef that you can hook up on the grill, right? It's kind of like one of those type of deals. You can't just go to the store, get the ground beef and just wham on the grill. You got to put some spices in it, get it nice and hooked up, and depending on how you like your ground beef, right? All right, you get it. You get the whole gist of it. You can't just put it on the grill and then 90 seconds later, it's done. Time to eat. Yeah, you can't just, no, you got to take your time with it. You got to make sure you're cooking it just right. Last thing you want to do is get sick, right? So off the break, Hurt Business wasn't popping, like that. It was just fresh off the grill, just good. It took some time, but when it finally got there and everything was clicking, we all were so behind it. Yeah, we were also those same fans that said, the hell with Retribution. This is the stupidest goddamn thing. Look, a lot of us, including yours truly, thought that there was a lot of hope there for Retribution. But the minute that whole possible connection of Shane McMahon being behind Retribution, remember, I was among the first. I don't get a lot of credit for this either. But that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, I get it. I'm a small fry. For some, even though I've been at this for about 10 years, I'm considered a small fry. And, for some people, they like to, oh, that sounds good. Let me jack that and, try to use it for themselves. I see you. I see some of you out there. It's okay. I don't look for the praise. I don't look for the reach around. I'm quite capable of doing my own reach around. Thank you very much. But, I was among the first to say, what if? Because remember, longtime listeners, I was among the first that said, why don't they treat this whole Retribution angle? Why don't they just, and the whole Raw Underground, why don't we just pull a Keanu Reeves Man of Tai Chi? Y'all remember that? And anybody that has seen Keanu Reeves in Man of Tai Chi, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But basically I said, okay, Shane McMahon is essentially Keanu Reeves' character in Man of Tai Chi. And essentially, Retribution, it's pretty much his baby. It's his compound. He's pretty much using this as a recruitment center, Raw Underground that is, to try to figure out who's the toughest of the toughest and essentially build the Retribution stable from there. And, I had laid out a nice, long, extravagant, and we thought that maybe it was going to kind of go in that direction. And then after Raw Underground just totally disappeared, Shane McMahon disappearing in the process, Retribution just dangling there, out of carefree in the world, just swinging. It just never clicked. It never, ever truly clicked. So yeah, as we fans were salivating over what was going on with the potential of the Hurt Business, we also were those same fans that were shitting on Retribution and wanting for it to end already because it was freaking misery for us. Yes, we also be those same fans that looked at what was going on in AEW within recent weeks. Oh, good God, just what we need, another faction. Hey, what's your name? Oh, my name is Son of Zeus. Oh, wow, look at you. You are a great fucking piece of specimen. Is that an 8-pack you got going on there? Yeah, it's an 8-pack. Wow, man, you are just, wow, you are such a fine specimen. Look at you. You got guns, you got deltoids. Your deltoids have deltoids. God, look at your triceps. Good God almighty. You are just, man, I see money with you. You got personality? Oh boy, do I. Here, check out my tape. 20 minutes later, my God, you cut such excellent promos. Wow. How's your in-ring work? Oh, that's pretty good too. Here's the tape. Oh, okay, check. Oh, wow. You know, 20 minutes later. Oh, wow. You're fucking good. Yeah. Yeah, we could definitely do some stuff with you over here in AEW, for sure. All right, so what we're going to do with you, we're going to put you in a stable. Do I need to elaborate anymore? You know, it's like every single body that essentially is in AEW is being associated with a stable. You know, you can't succeed. Now, look, I'm not saying that every single body that's in AEW has to be a solo act. I'm not saying that. I'm just talking about how the current perception is coming off of AEW Dynamite programming. You know, you got all these stables that's running around, and you've got these fans trying to figure out who the hell is who. You know, they're very confused, and they're, you know, and all these heel stables, nonetheless. That's the other thing. All these heel stables, nonetheless. So yeah, we be those same fans that we pointed out what we pointed out in WWE, and we also pointed out what we pointed out in AEW as well. Never misconstrued what some of us are saying about what's going on in some of your favorite wrestling promotions as the ultimate sign of trying to show disrespect to a promotion, to talents. On the contrary, that's those of us that really mean well, and you know I always mean well. I give constructive feedback and criticism where it's due. If something is banging, I'm always giving praise. Am I not? I don't care if it's AEW. I don't care if it's New Japan. I don't care if it's NWA, if it's WWE. I'm always giving praise when it needs to be given, but I'm also giving that criticism when it needs to be given. But we all can be in agreement that ultimately, at the end of the day, we just want nothing but the best of success for these promotions, for these talents that are involved in everything. And when you look at the Hurt Business, coming back to the Hurt Business, you saw guys that just not only clicked with each other so well, but in a way they all were inspiring each other, helping each other up their game, right? You look at Cedric Alexander, leaps and bounds of great improvement from where he was before Hurt Business even came along. You look at what was going on with Shelton Benjamin, for God's sake. I still remember the awkward segments on SmackDown, particularly where Shelton, what do you think about the fact that you've got to face the big red monster Kane tonight in a anything goes match? Any concerns? Any trepidations? And you've got Shelton Benjamin. Yeah, he's got this bewildered, glazed look on his face, and he's like, you know, he's just rubbing his chin. You know, he's getting ready to say something. Here it comes. Shelton is about to speak, and Shelton just looks off to the side, looks up into the air, and just has this dumbfound look on his face. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much what Shelton Benjamin was doing for a significant period of time. We're not just talking about Shelton doing this 1 week, 2 weeks. There was a period there where Shelton Benjamin was doing this for a couple of months. Shelton Benjamin wouldn't even have a match. Shelton Benjamin would just be backstage and he'd get asked some fucking question. And, you know, it was almost like at one point he was Ron Simmons light. You know, you're just waiting for, you know, something fucked up has just went down, and you know that Ron Simmons is just lurking around the corner, and they're gonna pan to him, and you're gonna see that mean mug, and he's just, damn! You know, you knew it was, so Shelton Benjamin was essentially in that role, so to speak, with the weird looks that he was given. That's what was going on with him. Phenomenal talent. But that's what was going on with him. You know, MVP. God, MVP. Truly the MVP for WWE in 2020. going into these early quarters here of 2021, really furthering, as far as I'm concerned, extending his legacy even further. His in-ring wrestling career may be up for debate with some people, but as far as a second life in the world of professional wrestling, at least within the WWE universe, definitely proving his value as a manager. And just when you just add all those nice ingredients and just really trying to understand what was making the Hurt Business click so well and what had fans just flock to it. Yeah, of course there's still going to be some Hurt residue there from the fact that Hurt Business is no more. Now we're learning a little bit more information that apparently this was a Vince McMahon call. I mean, really, I don't think you really needed, a wrestling dirt sheet or anybody else for that matter to tell you that ultimately this was most likely a Vince McMahon call. I don't really think you need anybody to tell you that. You could almost just kind of take a step back and just through process of elimination, just when you look at everything good that's been going on in NXT and you learn whose fingerprints is all over that. And then when you go to what's going on with the main roster shows between Raw and SmackDown, and you're looking at some inconsistencies there, wondering what's happening here? Why is this lacking? Why is this? Why is that? And you essentially learn who's at the core of a lot of the reasons why, from a negative standpoint, okay, why these things are happening. Yeah, at the core, process of elimination, Vince McMahon is at it. To hear that MVP, Lashley, a few others were trying to talk McMahon out of this, now look, there's a small chance, 1% chance, that could have just been a little leak, and maybe there's going to be a swerve at Mania. There's that 1% chance, sure. But the way it's looking right now, it's highly doubtful, right? It's highly doubtful. I'm still not sure how to feel about this whole Hurt Business breakup, but to double down and be consistent with what I said from last week, I do love the idea of a Shelton Benjamin feuding with Lashley for the WWE Championship. I do love the idea of Shelton Benjamin being elevated to, okay, yeah, we know what we can do as a tag team specialist. We know what you can do when put in a position where you're in contention for the United States Championship or the Intercontinental Championship, but you feel where I'm coming from, so I mean, I hope that after Mania is all said and done, I hope that there's going to be some type of a program, title or no title. I hope that there's going to be some type of a program, 2, maybe potentially 3 programs between Lashley and Shelton, because that's got a lot of potential on paper. I loved seeing Cedric and Shelton tonight get MVP alone backstage, rough him up a little bit, and pretty much say to him, let's be real. This whole Hurt Business thing and what's going on with your man Lashley now, all that just wouldn't have been possible without us. He wouldn't be champion without us. And watch what happens come Mania, because shit's gonna blow up in your face, especially when Lashley loses that WWE Championship, and you're gonna be exposed for the biggest fraud that you are. I loved all of that whole exchange. All of that was good. Despite feeling how I feel about the Hurt Business breakup, all of that was good tonight. Great chemistry. They delivered their lines pretty damn good. Cedric, he almost had a little bit of a brain fart there, but he caught himself just in time. It was like a millisecond of a brain fart that he had, but he gathered himself up, got back into the gist of things. He didn't just pause and let that brain fart get the best of him. It was just pretty much, you're just driving down the street, and it's just nice and smooth, and then bump, And in the case of Cedric in the past, and it shows you how much he's grown as a talker. There was a time where Cedric would be driving on that road and of a promo, and then when he hits that bump, Cedric would he's driving, bump, and then you got that awkward pause, and you're just, what the hell was that about? And then you try to regain yourself and now Cedric, he flowed pretty damn good tonight. So I had loved that. Loved in how they all delivered their lines right there. And seeing the 2-on-1 beatdown on Lashley before the Lashley Alexander match had got started. Loved how that played out. That was executed pretty smart. Love that element. Now you're wondering, okay, a 2-on-1 beatdown here. Is Lashley going to be able to, overcome this? By the way, I like the fact that besides the point, Drew went into this last Raw before Mania. I loved how Drew was built to be pretty damn strong. I mean, obviously they've been doing their very best with Drew over the course of the past couple of weeks, but there was just something about tonight. There was an extra little bit of kick in that mustard sandwich tonight with regards to Drew McIntyre, right down to the promo that he had cut tonight. I got to tell you, and again, what did I tell you guys? I give praise where praise needs to be given and everything. Now look, before I go to this praise, I will be the first to tell you and remind you, yet again, I be one of those mofos that has gone, oh man, not another one of those awkward Drew McIntyre promos. I just want to say it's so nice to be in front of you all here again tonight on Monday Night Raw. I hope you all had a fantastic Easter holiday weekend. I know many of you were with your families. Many of you that had kids were playing in the backyard, hunting for Easter eggs, in the candy, and later on that night, the big Sunday dinner. Some of you had a nice Sunday Easter brunch, maybe after Mass. From my family to yours, I hope your Easter was good. What's gonna be even more good for yours truly this week is going in Wrestlemania and kicking Lashley's head off his shoulders. You know, we didn't get that, and I was anticipating that tonight. You know your typical Drew McIntyre promo. You know it by now. Come on. All joking aside. It's funny that some of that stuff might have been just laid out there. Y'all know exactly the Drew McIntyre promo I'm talking about. We didn't get that tonight. Instead, we got a Drew McIntyre that came out there. He wasn't about the games. He wasn't about the jokes. This was a man that came out, one mind, one vision, one goal. Playtime is over. I'm all about business. I loved that candid demeanor that we got from Drew. Now, see, if I could just get more of that from Drew, combined with some of the elements that I saw of him during the Stone Cold podcast interview from a couple of months ago, you know what? I would enjoy him a lot more as a WWE superstar. I don't care what anybody says about Drew McIntyre. Yeah, there's a lot of people that just say unflattering. You think sometimes when I'm critical of Drew McIntyre, you think I'm bad. You should hear how some people just really go to town on McIntyre. I mean, they scorch his ass. I mean, they just light him on fire. The man's already on fire. He's pretty much burned to death, but they go on back. They fucking take some dynamite, blow the corpse. That ain't enough. Then they go, they go overkill. They go overkill on their criticism of Drew McIntyre, right down to the point. You could say, hey, well, not for nothing, but, look at what he did with that Stone Cold interview. He's like, there was some really good stuff that came out that they'll leave. No, I'm not going to shit. No. If they combine some of what he laid out there in that Stone Cold interview with shit like what he put out there tonight with that promo, he's got a lot of fans as it is. he connects pretty well, with those younger demographics and all that, as it is. But see, when you get to that point, when it comes to, talking to the wrestling fans that's 30 and up, they're that hokey dokey motherfucker. A lot of them are kind of in that kind of zone when it comes to Drew. But do more of what we got tonight, much more enjoyable personally. So I like how strong WWE made McIntyre look going into Mania. Baron Corbin, I know a lot of people feel a certain way about Baron Corbin, but I've always been consistent when it comes to Baron Corbin, which is this. Anytime you got Baron Corbin's name on the card and, he's involved in a match, you can always take comfort knowing that, okay, Baron Corbin, all right, he's going to give us a decent match. If it's a TV match, it's going to be a average, remotely entertaining, but, an average kind of match. Once in a while, you'll get a nice little surprise, and wow, that almost kind of felt like a pay-per-view quality type of match. And then when it comes to the pay-per-view matches, what's been the one thing I've said consistently about Baron Corbin, and you all can correct me on this. I believe I've said when it comes to him wrestling on TV shows, out of like 10 stars, 1 being shit, 10 being the awesome sauce, you can probably scratch in Baron Corbin as probably a 6, maybe a 7. Get him on a pay-per-view, and he's got about 11 minutes plus to tell his story, with whoever his opponent is in the ring, or opponents are in the ring. Then all of a sudden, that pay-per-view match, you're going to be looking at a 7, maybe an 8. I've never seen a 9 from Baron for as long as he's been in the WWE, and anybody that wants to jump out there and say, oh, you's a goddamn liar as far as I'm concerned. Ain't no 9 out of a 10 match for Baron. Come on now. What you smoking? Can I have some? I got my big fatty cigar over here. It ain't got the good shit in it, but you talking about some 9 or a 10 out of 10 for Baron Corbin. I need some of that shit that you smoking. Puff, 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 pass, motherfucker. But, contrary to how some people may feel about Baron, I didn't mind him popping up yet again tonight. I didn't mind the match that he had with Drew. That was a nice little change of pace and everything. I know a lot of people were panicking over Baron Corbin, hurt business, and kind of, yeah, I get it. I didn't jump to those conclusions. It was so amazing because you had so many people that reached to the conclusion that Baron Corbin was now part of the Hurt Business, or that maybe he was part of some new Hurt Business stable. And no, and not because Baron's white. I just no. This is just a situation and storyline where there's a bounty on Drew's head, and it's pretty much open season. It's been extended to anybody that wants. That's how I looked at it. I'm surprised that a lot more people didn't, because everybody was so quick to rush to judgment and everything. But no, good match between Drew and Baron tonight. Loved hearing MVP at commentating. By the way, Samoa Joe back. So much for that, right? All of us were like, Brock. And then when we didn't see Samoa Joe at commentating, we're going, oh shit, maybe it's gonna be Samoa Joe. No, Samoa Joe was back at commentating tonight. I did miss the man. I'll tell you another name that, surprisingly, I didn't see a lot of people, really nobody, perfectly honest with you. And if you said it out in the open, kudos to you. But, another name that would have been, oh, that's a nice little surprise there. Of all the people to come back, everybody's going Brock, Joe. How about Black, Aleister Black? That also would have been a nice little, there's a nice built-in, talk about coming back, white fucking hot there. But that didn't happen as well. But no, Drew, Baron doing good. Love hearing MVP talking trash during that match. The way MVP was talking to Baron tonight, it was almost kind of like a parent saying to you, I mean, just close your eyes for a little bit and just picture it for a second. It's almost like a parent saying to you, do you want that new Xbox One video game? Okay, then you've got to finish your Brussels sprouts. You want to be able to eat cake and ice cream? You want to be able to stay up all night and play video games? You got to eat your vegetables. And just hearing MVP tonight, it was equivalent to that, right? Just every time you turn around, MVP saying to Baron Corbin, Baron, do you want to go to WrestleMania? Take out Drew. You know, he's just saying this repeatedly throughout the night. And, you know, I guess Baron was kind of under the impression all he had to do was beat Drew. And at one point, you finally just had MVP go away from commentating and say to Baron, you know, no, Baron, I don't think you understand, brother. I don't want you to beat Drew. I want you to take him out. Hands him that pimp cane. You know, he tried, he came close. He almost clocked McIntyre with it, but he missed him by a mile. Drew bouncing off the ropes. Boom, Claymore kick. 1, 2, 3. Match is pretty much over. And like I said, I thought for sure we were going to get a roster that was going to come out, but instead we just get a stare down between Lashley and Drew McIntyre. That pretty much, and you're like, that's it? You know, I mean, I know Baron got the shit kicked out of him, but that's pretty much how we're, you know, no Baron attacking from behind, no Lashley, you know, very inconsistent there, because going into that match, you had Lashley say to whoever it was that was asking him the questions, that was interviewing him, you know, he pretty much said, you know, hey, push come to shove, and if I gotta take his ass out by myself, I'll do it. I'm thinking it was gonna get physical. Didn't happen there. But good. It was good. Both men going out strong and everything. Good shit. Some other key points from this week's Raw. And I gotta be honest with you, a lot of this, for me, you know, it felt like I was in a trance, because this was stuff I honestly could not care about as far as the WrestleMania feud, that being on the card itself. I could care less about it. But I'm going through this as a sacrifice to you all that did not watch Raw. You know, I pretty much did the dirty work, so you didn't have to, right? But seeing the whole, you know, Braun Strowman, Shane McMahon feud continuation, you know, Braun Strowman coming out there, Shane, I'm gonna not just kick your ass, I'm gonna represent for all the kids I got picked on all from bullies out there. I'm gonna represent for all the, and it's just, whatever, dude. Yeah, whatever. Next, you know, just one ear out the other, for me. You know, and here's the thing. I love Shane McMahon. I mean, I can remember the Attitude Era, the whole Ministry of Darkness, Mean Street Posse. Man, me and my friends from high school back in the day, man, we fucked with Shane McMahon big time. Fucked with him big time. Shane is good. There's no doubt about Shane. He is good. But man, this latest hot pile of garbage that's been bestowed upon him, not one of his finest moments. I honestly would have to say, not one of his finest moments. I feel for Braun, because Braun deserves better than this garbage story arc. You know, it's just shitty on so many levels. It's wretched. It's foul. You know, one ear out the other. Braun Strowman handicap match against Elias, and I was about to call him Will Riker. I'm sorry, I know, right? At least I'm being consistent though, right? You know, because we had the same problem a couple of weeks ago where it's like Elias and who's that other guy? Will Riker. Yeah. Will Riker, but Jason Riker. Even just you guys gotta forgive me. Anyway, a little handicap match. Braun pretty much getting best out of that. I mean, very predictable result. But I just can't wait for WrestleMania weekend to be in the book so that we can just, get past this once and for all. Just clusterfuck. One clusterfuck to another. Miz, Morrison, hey, oh no ho. They decide that they were going to take some paint to Bad Bunny's car. I gotta be honest with you guys. At this particular point, I decided, okay, you know what? I'm not really caring for this whole Bad Bunny thing, so I'm gonna go make a sandwich. I come back, and oh joy, I got to experience freaking Miz and Morrison pretty much chilling in the background, really, as Bad Bunny comes up to his vehicle. Oh, no. ¿Por qué? ¿Por qué? Oh, Damien, mira. Oh, no. Oh. No, there actually was no Damien. I wish there was Damien there. But no, you just get Bad Bunny, Oh, man. Oh, my God. ¿Por qué? No. Oh, mamma mia. And he pretty much gets, attacked from behind and everything. And you're like, okay, yeah, I still don't care about this, but whatever. Yeah, next. Later on, apparently, Bad Bunny decided he want camera time. He wanted some mic time. Oh, joy. WWE, you really shouldn't have. Really, you shouldn't have. I actually took a shower during Bad Bunny's talking segment. Now, I wasn't a total dick. Let me just be candid with you guys. I wasn't a total dick, right? I had my tablet with me in the shower. Well, not in the shower, it was chilling on my bathroom sink, but the tablet's there. It's got Raw playing, volume's maxed out. I'm in the shower doing my thing, and I hear the Bad Bunny promo. And man, I truly love you guys that were flocking the social media and saying with regards to the Bad Bunny promo, oh my God, Bad Bunny's promo, oh man, beautiful, awesome, superb, fantastic, classic, oh, right on, spot on, that was the shit, groovy, excellent, cool promo, badass. Really? Have we now gotten to that point where we have to feel as though we gotta give this sense of kissing up? Have we really gotten to that point in social media where we've got to just glorify the hell out of something that we know deep down wasn't really what all we're claiming it to be, but we kind of want to be on that side that looks like, we're in with what's cool. We want to be in with the majority that feels that this is a particular way, and we want to be on that side because that's the good side. And maybe if we sing all these praises, it'll put us in a position where Bad Bunny will see this and he'll like it. And I can then take that tweet or that post that he liked or retweeted or gave me a comment, and I can pretty much make that be the splash page on my LinkedIn or that's my new avatar or what. Come on, guys. I'm sorry. Look, I'm sorry. Not sorry. I might be an asshole. I might alienate some Bad Bunny fans, but y'all gotta give me credit. At least I'm consistent. Did I not say to you guys several weeks ago how WWE had put out a survey? And it was, just a recap, it was a hilarious survey. They try to come at you and go, how often do you watch WWE programming? You're like, pretty much every week. They're like, which shows do you watch? It's like, yeah, I watch Raw. Yeah, I watch SmackDown. Yeah, I watch. And it was very slick how they went about eventually getting to the Bad Bunny questions. They had a nice, juicy little section about Bad Bunny. And I told you guys where I pretty much had flunked out. I pretty much had, there was a question there where they said, basically, how much do you care about Bad Bunny on WWE programming? And I went with the lowest option that was humanly possible, which basically, I'm paraphrasing here, was don't care about Bad Bunny at all. And my little survey for WWE, it closed out immediately after that. It said, thank you for your time. It's like, damn, that was a hard TQ, wasn't it? I guess I terminated on that. Okay, whatever. But no, I'm sorry, not sorry. But there was nothing about that Bad Bunny promo tonight that I found to be of what you all were flocking to social media in a haste to recognize. No. Where do I even begin with the Bad Bunny promo? And I'm taking a shower and I'm hearing this promo. I'm paraphrasing here, but basically it was, let me see if I got this straight. When I was a little boy, mira WWE, I watch with my friends, I watch with my family, with my girlfriend, sometimes with just my hand. And I grew up on the Stone Cold Steve Austin, Triple H, Chris Jericho. Yeah, he didn't say Chris Jericho. You gotta retract that one, right? It's like, I even grew up on The Miz. I love pro wrestling. I love its fans. I love donkeys. I love cotton candy. I like dudes. What have I always said to you guys when it comes to celebrities or even some wrestlers that are essentially lacking, as far as the dialect and picking up the pace and all that when it comes to speaking in English? What have I always been an advocate for? You guys should know this by now. You know I'm not racist. You know that by now. But what have I always been an advocate for? I've always been an advocate for, nah, man, these people are good. Anybody, I don't care what the race is. Don't hinder a motherfucker by forcing them to speak in their own native language. I'm sorry, in the English language, especially if it's not their first love, especially if they're struggling at that. No, let them speak in their native language. This is the best part. The one thing that I could take as a positive from Bad Bunny's promo tonight, not to shit on it totally, the one positive thing I could take away from Bad Bunny's promo tonight, thank God it wasn't in front of a packed arena. Because let's be honest, if it was in front of a packed arena, you and I both know very damn well. What? I can just see it now. What? When I was a little kid, what? I grew up, what? On pro wrestling, what? I grew up on, you get it. I won't keep annoying, but you get it. Just as annoying as the fans, you get it. That was probably the only positive takeaway I have from that, was at least he wasn't doing this in front of fans, because they would have shitted all over that promo. There's no way that would have. I don't get that. We're still dealing with this pandemic. a lot of the stuff that we're seeing from WWE, a lot of it they've pretty much already taped and all that other shit. And for me, I just first of all, I don't honestly that talking segment in the middle of the ring, it just was not needed. It wasn't needed. Now some of you guys may say, Lee, okay, all right, dog. How would you have spun that in a way that would have came off looking, a lot better? Particularly for Bad Bunny then. It's quite simple. I would have done something where if Bad Bunny agreed to it, I would have done something some weeks back where a segment is taped between Bad Bunny and Miz Morrison and all of them. And I would have, taped something. I probably still would have done the whole car thing. I probably would have done that, except maybe I'd have done it in a way where that car was parked outside of the arena and Miz and Morrison had got wind of it. And maybe I would have done something of that nature. Have them jump Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny would then be off programming for that respected WWE RAW. Damian Priest pretty much taking up the mantle for Bad Bunny. Numbers game essentially gets the best of Damian Priest because it's pretty much it is a one-on-one match, but Miz and Morrison, they play the mind games, they play the shenanigans and all that, and distract the referee, do their little bullshit. Essentially it's a 2-on-1 beatdown. And then I definitely would have had Damian Priest off the following week, had Miz and Morrison bask in the glory of owning Damian Priest and continuing to mock Bad Bunny. And then this week, I actually would have had there be a pre-taped segment. Maybe it could have been a case where you could have somehow incorporated Bad Bunny being on the stage, being out on the red carpet. It would have been nice if maybe we could have somehow got some footage of him at home or something like that. But everything would have been in his own language. He'd have been speaking in his own language, put up the English subtitle, all that other shit. The only thing that needed to be said in English at the very end would pretty much be, hey, Miz Morrison, you guys versus me and Damian Priest at WrestleMania. Challenge out, you boys accept. And then later on during the night of tonight's broadcast, Miz and Morrison could have had their rebuttal, ultimately accepting. That's how I pretty much would have gone about it. I think we all could be in agreement. That Bad Bunny talk segment, way too long. Other than that, though, let's see. Keep rocking and rolling here. Hey, you guys okay? You guys been enjoying the show so far? If you have been, you know what you can do. That would be such a big, kind gesture. Tell you what you can do. If you haven't done so already, please go out of your way. Make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscribe, and that bell notification so you never miss all the great content that comes your way. Normally on a weekly basis, but this week we are going to be busy multiple nights this week. We're doing a new show every single night, concluding next Monday's WWE RAW. That's where we're going to be rolling to. Let's see. Good match between... Actually, let me back up before I talk about that one, because that actually was pretty good. Okay matchup between Asuka, Rhea Ripley taking on Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler tag team match. It's been rough watching Shayna Baszler in this. She's really taken a significant backseat in recent months. There's nothing I would love more than to see Shayna Baszler get back to the basics that I've come to know and love and appreciate. I want to see that Shayna Baszler from the NXT. I want to see that Shayna Baszler come back up through the ranks of the Raw roster and everything. And I don't know, at this point, who knows? Maybe, just maybe, you ultimately are going to have to do some type of a swap. You know, maybe Carmella comes to WWE Raw, and in exchange, Shayna goes to SmackDown. I think Shayna will probably get the type of mileage and all that, and everything that's coming to her. You know, maybe with a brand switch, but I just haven't been feeling what's been going on with her, with Nia and everything. And look, you know, Rhea Ripley in this position where she's getting to face Asuka for the championship. You know, look, I'm happy for Rhea Ripley. You know, nice, good little moment for her. Nice little WrestleMania moment and everything that's coming for her, win or lose. You know, it's a nice little moment for her because she's getting her WrestleMania moment and everything. But not enough build up, not enough hype. You know, it's really hard to, you know, to really get behind this and truly support it and everything. But you know, it is what it is. You know, this played out, this tag match, it played out exactly how I thought it was gonna play out. I wondered if Asuka at some point was maybe going to leave Rhea Ripley high and dry, or if maybe it was going to be a case where after the match was over, Asuka was then going to try to get her comeuppance and cash in that ass whooping of a receipt. So to see Rhea Ripley actually get the best of Asuka before it came back full circle on her, I love that. I actually kind of laughed my ass off when Rhea Ripley pushed Asuka off the top turnbuckle. You know, she pushed her in such fashion. She pushed her how I would push somebody at a buffet table. Now, obviously with COVID, I don't fuck with the buffet tables, and I'm quite appalled that there are still restaurants that are, you know, look, if you're going to do a whole buffet, cover the food first of all, and let the cooks actually bring the food to the people rather than the people. You know, I can't tell you how many buffet restaurants I have seen or heard about from coworkers where they're still allowing for multiple people to all touch the same utensils. And yeah, don't even get me started on that. You know, I'm a germ freak, but I'm not at that point where, and I never will get to that point, but I'm not nutty, you know, when it comes to germ phobia and all that. But just knowing that, you know, again, COVID pandemic, like, really? Like, no, cover the food up. Have the family sit down. The cooks, you bring it to them, right? If they want more, let them ring the bell or whatever, and they can pretty much do it that way. But no, I love seeing Rhea Ripley push the hell out of Asuka off that top turnbuckle. It's like the way she pushed her, it was almost kind of like me at a buffet. It's like, get out of my way. It's like, I want that damn piece of fucking carrot cake, goddammit, or whatever. You know, give me some more of that orange chicken. Good shit right there. Rhea Ripley leaving Asuka high and dry, setting her up for Shayna and Nia Jax to essentially pick up the dub and everything. But yeah, just you know, I just, you know, I feel for Rhea, but I don't, not in a way where I'm sorry for Rhea Ripley. Like I said, I just wish there was a lot more build up and everything going into Mania, you know. But regardless, she's going to have her moment. She's definitely going to rise to the occasion and everything. And I'm telling you, for those of you that maybe, you'd be surprised how many people actually don't watch NXT. You'd be surprised. But hopefully, for those of you that have, you know, not yet seen the work of Rhea Ripley, let me tell you, you're in for something really special with that girl. She's a hell of a fucking talent. And you guys are going to be seeing some really cool shit from her in the months to come. Bank on that for sure. Other than that, we talked about Lashley and Alexander. Riddle took on Mustafa Ali. actually enjoyed that. I actually enjoyed that. It was actually for a 10-minute matchup, that actually was a pretty good matchup. I actually had enjoyed that. So let me see if I got this straight. So the LSD birds, as I'm dubbing them, I think they're either coming from out of Riddle's ass, or they are coming from between his feet, or as soon as he kicks off his slippers, and they're coming from his feet, like he's getting rid of toe jam. I'm still a little bit confused about what's going on there with those LSD birds, but yeah, I mean, every time I see those fucking LSD birds, I'm reminded of the cotton picking slave from that fucking Disney joint, that Disney live action joint. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. He's just, walking down this animated, colorful road, and he's just zippity doo dah, zippity day, wonderful feeling this way. Zoop, 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 zoop. And then the animated birds just fly right to his fucking fingers, and he's just zoop, 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 zoop. It's just, that's automatically what I think of when I see Riddle's LSD birds. It's just, wow, is all I have to say, man. Just if you've never seen that shit before, the little Disney joint that I'm talking about, look it up when you get a chance. Now, some of you guys may say to me, Lee, how exactly would I be able to look that up on YouTube? How exactly do how exactly do I find that, Lee? That's a good question. That's a damn good question. I don't know. Maybe you say, maybe you could say black man, Disney, singing. I mean, that might do the trick. That might fucking do the trick. I don't know, but you all gotta play around with it. Okay, I'll tell you what. If you type in zippity doodah in a Bing, Google search, it should pop up. But you should, to make it even, let's simplify it even more. Type in zippity doodah in YouTube, and you'll know it when you see it. It's an old man. He looks like he's a cotton picking slave guy, sadly. I'm not trying to sound ignorant or racist. It's just, you got to think about when this came out, and then you got to look at how he's dressed. Okay, you can put two and two together, but just look at his facial expressions when he's, doing his thing with the animated birds and all that. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. This looks like the shit that Riddle is essentially doing now. Other than that, though, let's see, anything else from Raw I wanted to get into before we get ready to see. So we talked about that. We talked about that. I don't think I'm missing anything else here. Let me see here. Ali, yeah, Riddle. Talked about that. No, that pretty much was Raw. In a nutshell. That pretty much was Raw. It was decent. Yeah, it was a little bit decent. It was decent for the most part. Yeah, it was decent for the most part. So, a lot of programming that's going on this week. So, Tuesday night, we got the WWE Hall of Fame ceremony where they're going to be inducting 2 classes. So, that should be good. I'm looking forward to that. I always look forward to the WWE Hall of Fame ceremony. I mean, that's pretty much been like a yearly tradition. We've pretty much covered that every single year. We already talked about Drew taking on Baron Corbin. We talked about that. Like, God, I don't know how long ago. I mean, what do I need to elaborate more on with regards to Drew McIntyre and Baron Corbin? I don't think there's anything more to elaborate on. So let's move it along. But what was I getting ready to say? I got a brain fart. I'm looking at the chat. It happens. You guys got to work with me. Sometimes I get a brain fart. Yeah. So the WWE Hall of Fame ceremony, that's on Tuesday. Look forward to that. I always, of all the stuff, I look forward to the most, the WWE Hall of Fame ceremony. That for me is like the go-to. So that should be awesome. So apparently, Titus O'Neil officially, he is going to be the recipient of the Warrior Award. Look, I appreciate all the contributions of Titus O'Neil. Everything that he has done outside of WWE, the great humanitarian work that he does on a weekly, monthly, yearly basis, very consistent. You will not find me shitting on Titus O'Neil. You won't. You know, when it comes to his humanitarian work and all that, no. Great fucking human being, great ambassador, not just for WWE, an excellent ambassador for the wrestling industry as a whole. No doubt about that. Lending his voice to some noteworthy causes. You know, just the way that he's able to, you know, use his resources, his star power, and get other people involved in everything. You know, look, as far as him being the recipient for the Warrior Award, I don't have a problem with it. I don't. If you were to ask me, however, is it a bit too soonly for Titus O'Neil to be a recipient of this award? To that, I would say a little bit too soon, yeah. And, you know, for me, one of the first things that I thought about off the break, no bullshit, as soon as I had found out he was the recipient for the award, I said, man, how I wish Shad Gaspard would be the recipient of that award. And, you know, it just left me kind of scratching my head just a tiny little bit. I never got upset at all. Even right now, as I speak about this, you know, I never did get upset at Titus for being the recipient of this award. But, you know, you talk about somebody that made the ultimate sacrifice, all in the name of saving their child. And just everything that Shad Gaspard did to ensure his son gets back to shore. And just how the entire wrestling industry, just everybody connected to it, whether you're a wrestler, doesn't matter if you're independent or not, you're just involved in the business, or you're on the management, the business side of the business. You know, you're that fan, you're that podcaster, you're that journalist, you know, website writer, whatever. Everybody involved when that passing went down, the way we all just came together and how we all were just so rocked and so devastated by it and everything. You know, and then to hear, you know, eventually JTG saying, you know, he really got the ball rolling. A lot of fans pretty much were already there, but, you know, he definitely, by him speaking up, being so vocal about it, saying, you know, hey, yeah, that would be pretty badass if Shad was the recipient of the Warrior Award. You know, I even like the idea that some people had put out there saying, Shad Gaspard, you know, that's cool with Titus O'Neil, but come on, man, you gotta have Shad in there. Why not do two Warrior recipients? Why not have Shad and Titus O'Neil? You know, you got some people that are hoping that Titus does the right thing and somehow acknowledges Shad in accepting the award, you know, somehow spinning it in a way where he's not exactly, you know, shitting on the award and in spite, you know, kind of throwing it back to WWE, but, you know, is essentially, you know, hey fans, I hear you, and, you know, but I'm not displeased at all by the news of Titus O'Neil getting this award. I'm not. Little surprising, you know, quite honestly, especially given the fact that he's still, you know, relatively young, still has a lot to offer to the wrestling industry and everything. But No doubt about it. I mean, just the unselfish, uh, the unselfish effort that this man makes on a weekly basis. I mean, every time I turn around, this man is dedicating a vast majority of his personal time, mind you, his personal time, and coming out of his own pocket, and is doing a lot of cool things, for charity. A lot of times I've seen him organize these things where he's, taking kids on little shopping sprees, getting them toys and everything, going to a school. There's a lot of stuff that he does behind the scenes, let me tell you, that even though once in a blue moon, WWE will, maybe highlight it when you're watching SmackDown or whatever, there's like, that's only a fraction, guys. Only a fraction. He does so much that does not make the headlines, that a lot of the wrestling websites don't report about. There's a lot of shit that he does. So again, for him to be the recipient, no hate. No hate over here whatsoever. From one, not to make it be about race either, because I hate to, because I don't like doing that. I don't. But from one human being to another, from one black man to another, it legitimately does put a big smile on my face to see his work get recognized and all that. However, at the same time, you feel where I'm a little bit conflicted. I have Shad on my mind. So, but congrats to Titus O'Neil. Congrats to him. Look, for all we know, maybe there might have been talk about Shad being the recipient of that award, but maybe ultimately it was decided, you know what? We really don't need that Debbie Downer of a moment. There would be so many tears, and how exactly would we kind of recover from that? They might have been thinking from those kind of standpoints. I'm not making excuses for WWE by any stretch, so please don't take it that way. I'm only trying to, help you guys connect the dots a little bit, what might have been their thought process and everything. Add that with the fact that so many lives continue to be lost because of this pandemic and everything. Just, you're opening up an interesting floodgate right there, and maybe ultimately that was just something that WWE decided, let's not really go in that direction, and like I respect it. If that's how they came to that conclusion and everything, I respect that. I totally respect that. I do want to give an honorable mention to The Walking Dead. I don't know how many of you guys had went out of your way to see it yet, but probably their most strongest episode out of the entire 10th season was the season finale that they did on Sunday night, the Here's Negan episode. And I gotta tell you, beautifully well written, beautifully produced and directed, cast very well too. I love the fact that Jeffrey Dean Morgan was able to work with his wife on this episode, and there were just so many. I mean, they really brought out the best in each other, and I think because of the fact that when you get down to the essence, the core essence of really understanding the Negan character even more and everything, I really love the fact that the Morgan husband wife, were really able to flush out the human side of Negan, that for a lot of us, the curiosity was always there, whether we read the comic books or not. There was always that fascination of how exactly did Negan get to this point where he is right now. What was Negan like essentially before the end of the world? Essentially before the zombies and all that, the massive outbreak of zombies. What was he like before? And it was nice of them in the way that they went about approaching this episode. As many of you all know that have at least off and on over the years followed Walking Dead, this is something Jeffrey Dean Morgan has been very passionate about. Right down to the point, he thought it would be a groovy idea if there was a Walking Dead spinoff on just Negan, and essentially it's a prequel. You see everything leading up to Negan becoming the badass and everything, and you kind of take a step back when you listen to that and you go, man, an entire series about I don't really know about that. So to just dedicate one episode all things Negan and really flushing out the character even more. I mean, this really gave Jeffrey Dean Morgan a rare chance at that, to really show his acting chops. I mean, you talk about great range here. Other than the Diverge episode that we got of this season, this definitely, and don't take my word for it, when you go on the IMDb website, for example, and you look up the overall ratings for each of the episodes that came about for this 10th season, the Here's Negan episode is the highest rated, by fans like you and I. Last I checked, it had a rating of 9.6 out of 10. I mean, so check that out. If you guys want a little, something kind of cool, something bonus to check out for the week, and not for nothing, but, and I'm sure many people will flock on back to see how it ends and everything, but Walking Dead, they will be back for their final and 11th season. It's going to be an extended season. It will consist of 24 episodes. I believe they're going to pretty much be showing the first 8. They're going to do about 8 consecutive weeks worth of episodes when they come back. And then afterwards, they'll pretty much go on a little bit of a break. Basically, when it's all said and done, and that 11th and final season, it's going to kick off August of 2021. And pretty much the way that they got this set up, it's pretty much not going to wrap up. If I remember right, I don't believe it's going to wrap up until maybe summer of 2022, or potentially, let me just think for a second, or potentially first quarter of 2023 is maybe when it wraps up. But they're going to try to stretch this out for all it's worth. But like I said, it's about 24 episodes that they're going to be doing. But check it out when you guys get a chance. And I would also recommend you check out the Talking Dead episode with Chris Hardwick as he talks with the Morgans. And they gave some really good, colorful insight into the whole development of the episode and everything. So great, nice little 1-2 punch of a little companion thing that you guys should go out of your way and check out. Also, definitely want to take this time out to remind you guys, in case you all forgot, slipped by my mind totally, and this is wrestling related. The Retromania wrestling game is now out. It is available on the PC. It is available right now on the Xbox. So, whatever your respected Xbox console is, it's available in the Xbox store. I also believe it's available now for the Nintendo Switch as well, because I think Nintendo Switch, I believe their release was supposed to come a week later or something like that. But I don't know how I had missed that. I think I ended up missing that because I've been so busy with classes and everything that's pretty much how that escaped me. Right now, you can get the game for $30. You can't beat that. You can get it right now for $30. It's available on Steam as well. It doesn't look like, for you PS4 and arcade users, it doesn't look like it's or is it arcade or is it arcade? I got arcade. iArcade. I think that's how you pronounce it. iArcade, double IRCADE, iArcade. It's not available for those respected platforms just yet, but Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, Steam, it's available now. So I'm actually going to be downloading that game this week. And yeah, we could definitely do a little hangout on Twitch. And I'll definitely play that for you guys. So make sure you're connected to me on the Twitch, because that's definitely where I'll be showing off the game and everything. I would love to be able to stream the game also through YouTube, but we have not gotten to that point yet with regards to the Xbox One YouTube gaming infrastructure. We haven't gotten to that point yet where it's smooth and easy to share your game content live on YouTube and all that. You pretty much got to do a weird OBS workaround. I don't want to bore you guys with all the tech talk, but yeah, it's a whole bunch of shit you got to do just to try to get around that. But yeah, check that game out. I mean, you got $30 to spare. Like I said, it's available right now, with the exception of the PS4 and iArcade. So check it out. You're welcome. Apparently, there is going to be a hearing scheduled in the settlement over the class action lawsuit filed against WWE over stock purchases. Remember, this was something that we had talked about a while back. So continue to pay attention to that one. For you guys that need a little bit of context, what I'll do, I'll actually post a link to an article that you can read, because it's kind of lengthy, but it'll pretty much get you guys caught up to speed. But this is something, if I were to kind of sum it up in a nutshell, and if I remember it right, there was basically a case where the numbers for WWE stock, it had came in like too low or something like that, and as a result, some stockholders, they lost money, because WWE and their respected stock analytics, they were channeling things projected as one way. So, stockholders, investors, they're okay, all right, and so they invested accordingly. And then, essentially when they weren't able to make that profit per what was being projected, in the portfolios and everything, you had some of these guys that essentially cried, foul. And that's pretty much how the lawsuit pretty much came about, give or take. But like I said, I'll post a link in the episode description so you guys can check it out when you get a chance. Also, we're talking about WrestleMania week and everything. I know that the good kind people over at GCW, they're doing some shit this week as well. GCW, the collective, they're doing some shit as well. That's going to be going down April 8th, 9th, and 10th. The Cuban Club in Ybor City, Tampa, Florida. And check this out. Here's what they're going to be doing on April 8th, 12 p.m. Jimmy Lloyd's D-Generation Tampa. These are the matches that you got. By the way, all of these shows, they'll be streaming on Fight TV for those of you that want to check it out. It will be streaming on Fight TV. Check this out. April 8th, 12 p.m. Nolan Edward faces Daniel Garcia. Jimmy Lloyd versus Starboy Charlie. Myron Reed faces Dante Leon. Juicy Fanu goes head to head with one called Manders. Just as it sounds, one called Manders. Jordan Oliver faces Everett Connors. Sky Blue versus Billy Starks versus Roxy. And Gino Medina. That's a name I haven't heard in a good minute. Love that. Love Medina. Hero de Canis Lupus, American Beetle, and Ninja Jack. They're all slated to appear. Later that afternoon, 4 p.m. Eastern, the Acid Cup 2021 Day 1 tournament. Jordan Oliver faces Edith Surreal. Lee Moriarty faces Treehouse Lee. Dragon Bane versus KTB, Cal the Beast. That's what that's abbreviated for. Laredo Kid faces Brandon Lee. AJ Gray faces Nate Webb. Aries versus Armis. Tony Deppen faces Cole Radrick. And Ken Broadway goes head-to-head with Calvin Tankman. April 8th, 8 p.m. Eastern, Josh Barnett's Bloodsport 6. Check this out. Josh Barnett versus John Moxley. Leo Rush versus Yoya. Allison Kay takes on Masha Slamovich. Alex Coughlin faces Royce Isaacs. Chavo Guerrero Jr. goes one-on-one with Rocky Romero. That should be a pretty good match. Matt Makowski faces Heidi Korunu. Bad Dude Tito takes on Victor Benjamin. Simon Grimm goes one-on-one with Victor Benjamin. KZT faces Janae Kai. And Schlack versus Super Beast. Then you got April 8th at 11:58 p.m. GCW presents For the Culture. Rich Swann versus Too Cold Scorpio for the first time ever. Should be pretty damn good. Leo Rush faces Lee Moriarty. Brian Keith faces Darius Lockhart. AJ Gray takes on our boy JTG. JTG. Thick and Juicy. Oh, shit. Oh, I know about Thick and Juicy. Just how I like my women, too. I know about Thick and Juicy. Yes, Lord. Thick and Juicy's Faye Jackson and Willow Nightingale take on Impact Wrestling Knockout champions Fire and Flavor, Kira Hogan and Tasha Steelz. Oh, man, I hope they do a stop, lock, and pop. I hope we get that. Myron Reed takes on Ken Broadway, Calvin Tankman, Andy Brown. Looks like it's going to be a fatal four-way. Trey Lamar faces Eli Knight. Let's see. April 9th, 12 p.m. GCW presents Alley Cat's Red Hot Girl Shit. Alley Cat faces Billy Starks. Divine faces Erica Lee. Brooke Valentine goes up against Willow Nightingale. Tasha Steelz takes on Trish Adora. Edith Surreal goes one-on-one with Lady Frost. Holiday, that's a name I haven't heard in a good minute. Holiday takes on Lady Frost. And then Holiday takes on Dark Sheik. You heard that right. Holiday doing double duty there. Allison Kay. Oh, love Allison Kay. Allison Kay takes on Faye Jackson. Faye Jackson's Gray Sweatpants Battle Royal featuring JTG, PB Smooth, Ricky Shane, Paige, Daniel Garcia, Casey Navarro, Devon Monroe, Mysterious Q, Lee Mortery, Hoodfoot, D-Rogue, Ellie O'Neill. That sounds pretty good. I actually might check out that Red Hot Girl shit. I actually might check that one out. Also on day 2 for April 9th, 4 p.m. Eastern, we've got the finals of the tournament. Participants, that's to be determined, as y'all know. Following up what we said, from day 1. Then we've got at 8 p.m. Eastern, the 440 KH Spring Break GCW champion Ricky Shane Page versus Nick Gage. Atricious Cougar versus Masada. Leo Rush faces Jordan Oliver. Starboy Charlie goes up against Billy Starks. Joey Janela takes on Chris Dickinson. Gringo Loco and Black Taurus. And Aries versus Laredo Kid and Dragon Bane and Armas. Virgil is set to appear. Lonely Man Virgil set to appear. Later that night, 11:59 p.m. Eastern, Violence X Suffering. Check this out. Leo Rush takes on the legend himself, Low Key. Dr. Cube takes on JTG in a no DQ match. Jordan Oliver takes on Jimmy Lloyd. Pure Rules match as Daniel Garcia takes on AJ Gray. Brian Cage takes on Chris Dickinson. Lucha Rules, 2 Code Scorpio faces Eli Everfly. And then April 10th at 11 a.m., we got Iffy's. You can't make this name up. I'm not trolling you guys either. We got Iffy's Big Gay Tampa Brunch. Soul on a Pole match. Effie versus Ace Perry. The Dark Sheik versus AC Mack. Edith Surreal faces Devin Monroe. Perro's Tag Gauntlet. Pup collar match. AJ Gray versus Billy Dixon. MV Young versus JD Drake. 3 p.m. Eastern later that day, April 10th, we're still on. Alex Cologne's Planet Death. Eric Ryan versus Masada. AJ Gray versus Akira. Madman Pondo versus Matthew Justice. Schlack versus Nolan Edward. Jimmy Lloyd and Gory versus G-Raver and Brandon Kirk. 7 p.m. Eastern, later that day, Unsanctioned Pro, PB Smooth versus Lord Crew. Cold Radrick versus Jake Something from Impact Wrestling. Casanova Valentine faces Hoodfoot. Scramble match as Sage Phillips faces off against Chris Copeland, Jack Andrews, Billy Starks, and Robert Mortar. Rob Killjoy takes on Freddie Hudson. Lexus Montez faces Jordan Oliver. Myron Reed takes on Trey Lamar. And you have an unsanctioned pro champion match as Everett Cross takes on Arian Williams. Sue Young will be in action. She'll take on G Raver. You heard that right. Bam Sullivan goes up against Bobby Beverly. Mance Warner, there's a name I haven't heard in a good minute. Miss him in MLW. Mance Warner takes on Connor Claxton. Also appearing, Eric Redbird, Masada, Jimmy Lord, Alex Colon, and much more. So, I mean, this is looking to be a pretty damn, that's a loaded fucking card, is it not? So, check it out. They're going to have some damn good deals over on Fight TV. Whether you just want to check out one particular event or you want to check out all 3 days of coverage, I don't know where I stand just yet. I got to figure out how exactly that's going to go for me and with regards to checking out. Because I know for sure I'm definitely going to check out some of that stuff via Fight TV. I'm just not sure what I'm going to be watching because I actually have a pretty nice light work schedule this week, which goes perfect with my classes because some of my shit I gotta do some studying for and all that, but it'd be kind of nice in between to kind of get in a little bit of fun here and there. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, all info, as far as the prices and all that goes, go check out Fight TV when you guys get a chance. Other than that, shout out to DMX. We had talked about this, me and Tams. We talked about this on an episode of Wrestling with the Topics, available for our Patreon members exclusively, that series. You haven't signed up yet, do consider being a Patreon member. Join our growing community, patreon.com/RCWR Show. But we talked at great length about, DMX and some of the health problems that he's been experiencing. He's been battling demons for some decades now. But it seems, I'm pulling for the brother, but it seems that perhaps the demons have got the best of DMX. In case you missed it, he landed in the hospital over the weekend as a result of a drug overdose. And his family, the last thing that was put out there was he's still fighting for his life. He has just been taken off of an air breathing machine, because there was basically machines that were pumping air, pumping oxygen into his body. And they eventually decided, okay, if he's got a fighting chance and he can, get out of this, he can kick out, we got to turn these machines off, and, we got to see what he can do on his own. So he is breathing on his own, but, per the medical experts, particularly those that's been working on him and everything, and what the family has basically put out there right now, DMX is in a vegetative state. There's just no telling how much damage this man did to himself or has done to himself and his body over the years and everything. And, I hate to be that guy that, I believe in miracles as much as the next person. I believe in some type of divine intervention. I do believe in a higher power. All things happen for a reason, good, bad, and different. It's really hard for me to be optimistic right now, hearing what's going on with DMX, because most people that are in that state of vegetation, most people that are in that state of vegetation, the odds of them kicking out, it's not good. It's not good. So there has been a visual, that's been growing. I mean, it's just been growing, continuing to grow. That's been happening out at the outside the New York hospital, where he's being held and everything for continued observation. And the family, they're asking for the prayers, and but it does not look good. 50 years old. He pretty much suffered a heart attack as a result of this drug overdose, which essentially, has him where he is as we speak. The last statement that the family of DMX put out there, they basically said, quote unquote, "We ask that you please keep Earl/DMX and us in your thoughts, wishes, and prayers, as well as respect our privacy as we face these challenges." They gave this statement to the good folks over at Entertainment Tonight. The vigil had began earlier Monday evening. So it's rough to hear. It's really, really rough to hear. I have so many fond memories of DMX. So many fond memories. My God, man, I can just remember pushing the shit out of DMX's music. I got all of DMX's albums, man. And I just remember me and my friends, especially in high school, man. Especially in high school. I just remember how me and my friends used to stay pushing the fuck out of DMX's joint, man. There was like, when I was in, let me tell you something. When I was in high school, there were certain albums that, like, you knew everybody and they mama would have, without a shadow of doubt. And let me tell you something. When it came to 1998's It's Dark and Hell is Hot, I did not know one person who didn't have that album. It didn't matter if they was black. It didn't matter if they was white. I did not know one person in high school who didn't have that album. Right? It was almost like at a point where, oh shit, what's up, Lee? Man, I forgot my DMX joint, man. Oh, which one? Man, I forgot mine. Oh, yeah. Some would be nice enough to let me borrow they joint, for a class or two and everything. Of course, I had to, give it to them right back and everything. But yeah, 1998's It's Dark and Hell is Hot. Man, everybody and their mama fucking had that album. And then my personal fucking favorite album, Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood. I mean, god damn. So many fucking hits. So many fucking hits on that one, man. It's all good. It's all good. It's all fine. Fuck all day. Fuck all night. Yeah. Slipping. Yo, I'm slipping. I'm falling. I can't get up. I'm slipping. I'm falling. I got to get up. Oh, that was my shit, man. That was my shit. What was the joint that he did? How's the deal now? How's it going down? Got to love, and I got to know now. I'm trying to think how that fucking. I think that might have been on the. I think that might have been on the. It's Dark and Hell is Hot. I think that's the song. Let me look. I'm looking at the. I'm actually looking at my iTunes library here. Yeah, that was on the first album. How's It Going Down? Man, who the fuck did not push How's It Going Down? Who did not fucking push that? Man, let me tell you something. Every single time it was the weekend, me and my boys, we would go out Northwest DC. There were like 2 spots we would normally go to, but the main one that we used to go up on, we used to hang out around, we used to almost hang up around Malcolm X Park. And, you know, sometimes we would either play soccer or we would play, you know, tackle football. We didn't do that tag shit. I mean, we actually tackled the fuck out of each other, right? Yeah, don't be shedding no tears and all that, you know, like when you played with us, we hurting your ass, okay? But we would either do soccer or we would do tackle football. And usually somebody would bring a big old boombox radio, you know, had the CDs and all that, right? And man, we would just be out there, nice good ass weather like what we got going on right now. And man, we would have, man, we'd load that bitch up with DMX, we'd have some Jay-Z, we'd have some Nas, we'd push some Cypress Hill, we'd push some Lil' Kim, we'd push some Foxy Brown. Man, I mean, we had our cycle of joints, but like when it came to the DM, man, we stayed pumping the fuck out of DMX, you know? I mean, we pretty much would combine that and we'd be listening to WPGC 95.5, 96.3 WHUR. We pretty much would be pumping the fuck out of all of that in our music, but like, man, how's it going down, DMX? Every time that fucking song used to come on, man, we used to play the fuck out of it. We used to blast the shit out of that joint. Talking to show that make me want to do something nice. Looking at that ass, baby, going to do something tonight. I know right when I see right. Shorty look like she tight. Better give me the green light. Yeah, I mean that joint, man. That joint was my shit, man. You guys have no fucking idea. I have so many fond memories, like good memories. Shit, I can remember making out with girls to a fucking DMX song, yo. All right, so DMX definitely part of my life, you know, in high school with my friends and all that shit. And like I said, man, this brother, man, been dealing with so many demons over these past several decades. I'll never forget. I still remember the episode of Iana Fix My Life. I know you guys probably remember this too, but there was an episode that she did where she actually tried to help DMX. And I mean, this brother was just, it was so heartbreaking, so fucking heartbreaking to watch. And you were really, really pulling through for this brother to, you know, overcome these demons. You saw how the decisions that he made in his life, how it pretty much had, you know, affected, you know, not just his exes basically, but how it was affecting his children that pretty much pretty much threw the towel in on having a relationship with him and everything. And he's trying, and this guy just continued after that. I mean, he just finished a stint in jail. You know, he was in jail for like about 12 months. He pretty much got out in like 2019. You know, you thought that maybe, all right, you know, he's trying to get his affairs in order, trying to get his life back on track and everything. You heard the rumblings that he was in the studio, and, you know, he's trying to put some new music out there and everything. You going, okay, all right, D trying to make some moves, all right? Because remember, the last album he put out, you got to go back to like 2015, Redemption of the Beast. That was like the last joint he put out. You know, so it's been a good minute, you know, and you seemed as though maybe things were kind of getting back on track for him. But then you start hearing about, hey man, D is doing no call, no show. He's canceling concerts left and right. What the fuck is going on? And, you know, that pretty much, you know what that means. So, I'm pulling for him. You know, anybody that, you know, was a DMX fan, you know, you gave a damn about him, appreciated his music and all that when you were growing up, you know, before you go to bed tonight, man, you know, hey, look, we all got our problems, man, but to hear something like this that's going on, you know, like, you know, you want to hear something good. You know, we've been bombarded with so much bad. You feel me? And, you know, I'm thinking about DMX, and at the same time, I'm also thinking about one of my classmates. You know, I was just talking about how, you know, we've been bombarded with a lot of bad as it is and everything. You know, something that really tugged at my heartstrings tonight while I was in class. And I didn't watch AEW Dark Elevation because I actually stayed in class a lot later than I needed to, because I was just so lost in writing my newest essay on Supreme Court Justices Sonia Sotomayor. And I was getting lost in it and everything. But during class, one of my classmates, she actually had to abruptly leave the class. You know, she sent the private message to our professor and everything, and eventually she was excused and everything. But I just remember just kind of taking a step back going, oh shit, you know, kind of like with DMX. I just kind of remember going, oh shit. And let me tell you something, no bullshit. If you would have seen my face and all my classmates' face, because, you know, we're taking the class via Zoom. If you would have seen our faces, hearing our classmate breaking down in tears as, you know, she's saying goodbye and, you know, she has to go. And we're all like looking at each other, and, you know, our faces are grim as fuck. All at the same time, our faces are grim as fuck, mixed with confusion. And like, you know, okay, what's going on? And the only thing our professor had said, she said, you know, COVID has affected us all in many different ways. And, you know, without putting our classmates' information out there, she pretty much was saying, you know, she didn't put, it was enough for us to know, okay, there's something COVID related that's going on with our classmate, you know, whether it's a death or, so I hate to speculate, but I would be shocked if she was in our next class. I really would. Model student, always on time, you know, pretty damn good, very on point, you know, very interactive and everything. But even I would have to admit, you know, when I think about it, she was very quiet during class tonight. You know, she seemed a little, she wasn't her bombastic usual, you know, bubbly personality self. It was, you know, kind of, you know, how are you? Fine. Okay. You know, it's kind of like, just, you know, let her be. But to just hear her pretty much crying like 30 minutes into class, it's like, ooh, you know. So I couldn't help but like send a prayer her way, you know, because it's like, obviously she's dealing with some heavy fucking shit and all that's going on. But, you know, Yeah, man. Like that's the last thing you want to hear in 2021. On top of all the pandemic deaths that's been going on, we're getting to this point now where we're starting to turn a corner for the greater good and get back to that. Get back to that life before COVID. Get back to that sense of normalcy and all that. We just got to continue to stay the course and everything. And to hear something like what's going on with DMX, it's like, come on. At the same time, it makes you just want to put your arms around that person that you love a lot and say to them, please, these problems that you're dealing with, drug or alcohol or, I love you, you can kick out of this. You can only do but so much though, right, guys? You can only do but so much. That person, when it's all said and done, they've got to want it for themselves. They have to have their own sense of clarity. And sadly for some people, by the time they realize, oh shit, it's too late. It's too late. And I'll just say this. Maybe the powers that be could be saying to D, yo, man, I gave you time after time after time after time after time after time again to get your shit in order, to turn your life around. You're abusing it too much. No more. No more chances. That's it. Your time is up. I hope that's not the case, but you never know. You never know, man. Interesting news. I see that John Delancey, Q, for you Star Trek The Next Generation fans, I see that he will be returning as Q in the second season of Picard. And I can't stress it enough. I know a lot of you guys ended up getting Amazon Prime because of Coming to America. And I know some of you guys are checking out that new animated series that's on Amazon Prime. What's it called? The Invincible, or I can't think of the name of the show right now. Kind of reminds me a lot of Black Lightning, though, when I hear the synopsis for it and everything. For those of you that still got your Amazon Prime and all that, I hope you guys know. Maybe you don't. Maybe you haven't been playing around with it like that. But one cool feature that's in there, as part of having the whole Amazon Prime, you can watch all the episodes of the first season of Star Trek Picard. It's only 10 episodes. And you don't need to know anything about, you don't need to have watched the Next Generation series or the movies. They do a pretty good job, kind of recapping, just giving you the footnotes. But if you want a little bit of clarity, you can go on Bing, Google, and there's essentially a nice little article here and there of like, okay, these are, and it's not really extensive work either. These are the episodes you should watch. Okay, watch this movie. And everything, if you got the Amazon Prime, everything you would be able to find and be able to access as part of your Amazon Prime to get yourself caught up to speed and everything. But the Picard season, I mean, if you remember months back when I was talking about the series, I ranted and raved about it. It was fucking awesome. But yeah, Picard, he's apparently going to be reprising his role as Q. Now, look, I don't know if he's going to be as the main antagonist in this one. I'm not really sure. But I hope he is. I actually hope he's the main antagonist. But I can't wait. He's coming back. I don't know when this is. Apparently production for season 2 is already underway. And they're saying that the premiere of it's supposed to go down 2022 on Paramount Plus. Now, your guess is as good as mine if it's going to still have the same kind of arrangements as last time. And, you'll be able to access it on CBS All Access. You'll be able to access it also on Apple TV Plus and Amazon. I don't know if it's going to be like that as what they did with season 1 and everything. Your guess is as good as mine. Because you know how it is now. Everything is all about exclusivity. Is that the word? Exclusiveness. It's all about, come to this app because we got this shit over here. It's all about that. So we'll wait and see how that plays out. Other than that, see a couple other little tidbits. We can go an extra couple of minutes because, like I said, I took my shower earlier, so I'm pretty good. I still got a little bit more energy in me here. Oh man, I can't believe I almost forgot about talking about this. Okay, so the biggest piece of news that came from the weekend, and many of us thought it was an April Fool's joke, but Stone Cold Steve Austin is going to be doing the podcast on the WWE Network, his Broken Skull Sessions. He's going to be interviewing AEW's own Chris Jericho. And this just had the internet in a fucking frenzy, and they're all wondering how exactly did this fucking come together? Like, holy fucking balls, what's going on here? And leave it to Steve Austin to break bread and pretty much let everybody know how this had came about. And he pretty much said, look, and I think if I remember the story correctly, it was about the interview Steve Austin did. I want to say maybe it was with Randy Orton or something like that. And Jericho, it started off with just a simple text message. Jericho hitting up Steve Austin, and they kind of went back and forth. Next thing you know, they're talking on the phone with each other, and the suggestion came about of, hey, how badass would it be if I was to do your show on the WWE Network? How badass would that be? And Steve Austin really loved that idea. He talked to the old man, Vince McMahon, talked to him about it. And Vince was like, yeah, sure. Okay, pal, yeah, go for it. And Steve Austin pretty much had to do a fucking double take. And he's like, wait a minute, And I think all of us would pretty much be in that same position of Steve Austin. Hey, just make sure we're all on the same page here. I'm getting a little tired, so I'm going to stop doing the Stone Cold voice. You all know I do a better Steve Austin impression than that. But, he pretty much was like, wait a minute, just want to double check here. We're talking Chris Jericho, like, he's with AEW now. You sure you're okay with him coming on to the show on the WWE Network and everything? And Vince is like, yeah, pal, go for it. Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. Sounds like a cool idea. Look forward to seeing it. And the rest is pretty much history. So, your guess is as good as mine. Why Vince McMahon gave the green light on this. I'm not questioning the old man by any stretch. I find it to be very, very fascinating. Not, to pull a Spock. I find it most fascinating that we're at this point here. And, the only way I can really sum this up, is all I can do is take a step back and go, wow. Not only does Vince McMahon have such confidence and is okay with where he is in his life, with what's going on with the WWE, the new deals that they were able to broker and everything, NXT, USA Network and everything, but he's also in a position where he can seriously think about quality of content, not quantity. And also, okay, we're talking about Steve Austin and we're talking about Chris Jericho. to whom Chris Jericho has said, numerous times in interviews that, Vince McMahon has a ton of respect for him, a ton of respect. And, I guess when it's all said and done, Vince McMahon is, as far as he's concerned, yeah, Jericho might be over there in AEW and everything, but the guy bleeds WWE in and out. He's WWE for life. Whenever he's done doing his thing in AEW, we'll see him again. No doubt there's a Hall of Fame induction with his name on it and everything. It's a testament to the respect level I think that Vince has for Jericho and everything, to the point that he can look past this other promotion. One could also make the argument, Vince McMahon maybe still looks at AEW, as a small fry. He doesn't really look at AEW as competition. You can insert whatever ideology you want to have, behind pulling the trigger on Jericho and everything. But, when it's all said and done, wrestling fans just as a whole, they win tremendously by this. Because the question was asked of Steve Austin, were there certain topics you tried to steer away from? And Steve was like, no, we fucking hit every single one. Anything that you could possibly think of, we went there. We left no stone unturned. We even talked about AEW. So, that, I can't wait. I hear the talk right now. I hear the hype. But I want to actually see the end result and of course hear firsthand from Jericho. Okay, so how long did you guys actually talk? How much of that talk actually made it into the final, because they do edits and all that shit all the time. So I can't wait to hear Jericho, really, hey, this is what was taken out. Here's the other thing. Jericho has never done the series of shoot interviews or done the podcast media circuit run mill and bash WWE and he's never fucking done that. Never. He may have had, certain issues with creative, the way things were booked, written or whatever like that, but he never went in such fashion where it was a personal attack towards WWE. And I think, whether some of you all want to admit it or not, I think there's no denying that probably, I guarantee you, if he had gone in that type of fashion, I guarantee you, Vince probably would have likely said, no, this ain't happening. You can forget about it. So I want to see this end result. I'm very excited, but I want to see this end result, the finished product, and pretty much go from there. But I'm looking forward to seeing this. And if I remember right, this is actually supposed to be going down. This is supposed to be going down sometime in April. Let me get you guys the exact date now that I'm thinking about it here. Let me see. Here we go. I actually got the information here. Yep. Thank you. Thank you for welcoming me. Yep. Thank you. Now load up. I got my Apple News loading up here. It's not what I wanted initially, but okay, you're taking too long. So let's do this here. There we go. All right, I got it loading up here. Yes, I agree. All right, so apparently this is going to be going down on... Where's the date? That's all I care about. When's the date? No date yet. I don't see a date yet. I could have sworn I saw something in April. Hang on, guys. Let's try this again. Okay. I'm looking at something. Yeah, I got it. It's going to be on the WWE Network as of April the 11th. So that's going to be Sunday. So pretty much the conclusion of WrestleMania Night 2. Jesus Christ, us podcasters, we got our work cut out for us, man. I'm telling you, man. Like, how can we compete with that, right? But I can tell you just the way that we're going to be doing things right now, going into WrestleMania week, it's pretty much starting with this broadcast and everything. To recap, Tuesday night, I'm going to be back here. I'm going to be talking about the WWE Hall of Fame ceremony. Wednesday, April 7th, I'll be here talking about NXT TakeOver Night 1 Fallout. Also be talking about AEW Dynamite Fallout. Thursday night, that's going to be all about TakeOver Night 2. I'll be back for that. And as a matter of fact, let me actually look at my work schedule for that Thursday, because let me look at my work schedule real quick here, because I can tell you guys whether or not, so by the time I get off work, TakeOver Night 2 that Thursday night will be starting. But I'll actually have my tablet on me, so I'm not missing that. I'll be with you guys doing a special post show on that. And then we got the Friday night edition of the RCWR show. That's going to be, I wasn't even going to be doing a Friday night edition, but they're doing something special with that SmackDown episode, as they're going to be doing the Andre the Giant Battle Memorial. And something else is also supposed to be happening on that SmackDown. And as a matter of fact, if you guys can just indulge me for a quick second, I can tell you what else is supposed to be happening here. Let's see, SmackDown. Hang on, because I think it's more than just the Andre the Giant Memorial joint. Hang on here. Maybe I can go to... Hang on. Because they got something else. Yeah, it's going to be a WrestleMania edition. We know that. Yep. Yeah, and there's going to be a fatal 4-way for the SmackDown tag titles that's currently held by Rude and Ziggler. And of course, it's also going to feature Roman Reigns, Daniel Bryan, Edge, pretty much promoting their triple threat match and everything. So the participants for the Andre Battle Royal match, it's going to be Akira Tozawa, Angel Garza, Cedric Alexander, Drew Gulak, Elias, Eric, Grand Metalik, Humberto Carrillo, Jason Riker, Jey Uso, Kalisto, King Corbin, Lince Dorado, Mace, Murphy, Mustafa Ali, Ricochet, Nakamura, Shelton Benjamin, Slapjack, T-Bar, and Tucker. As it stands right now, the confirmed participants for the Fatal 4-Way, we don't know just yet, but rumblings have it that it's probably going to be Otis and Chad Gable, Rey and Dominic Mysterio, and the Street Profits. So, yeah, that's SmackDown. That's, so I'm going to be live Friday. We're going to be talking about that. Saturday, Sunday, night 1 and 2 of WrestleMania. We'll be back here for all of that. And then everything pretty much will wrap up. Monday, April 12th, we'll definitely be covering the Raw after Mania. And then after that, your man's pretty much going to be on vacation for the rest of that week. Because it was so funny, because my girl actually looked at the schedule, because I usually like to, I actually have a paper calendar. It's a yearly calendar. I have it in the hallway, on your way downstairs, going into the kitchen and everything. And I usually like to mark stuff on the calendar. And she says to me, "Jesus Christ, you're really busy this week, huh? Mania week." I said, "Yeah." And she goes, "Yeah, I see you're busy all the way through past the 12th there." I'm like, "Yeah." "You going on vacation after next Monday?" I said, "Fuck yeah." Yearly, that's normally what I do. After I do the Raw after Mania, I usually give myself a nice little break there. So it's got to be something like very monumental to just stop me in my little mini break to, okay, I'm going to break it because I got to, but, I usually when I do, we don't miss nothing. It's usually nice and quiet, nothing major or shockingly happens or anything like that. So I'm looking forward to that nice little break. But that's way then. That's way then. That's next week. We got a whole 7 days for that. All right. So other than that, guys, that pretty much has been it. We've been on the air now for about 2 hours, 10 minutes, give or take. So we can stick a fork in it. We can call this episode DONE done. The other shows that we got coming this week, they're going to be a lot more condensed. So, you know, hopefully you guys appreciate that, because, I mean, that's a lot of hours that we all are going to be embarking on this week. But one more time, you guys had enjoyed yourselves tonight. Please, if you haven't done so already, make sure you go out of your way. Make sure you hit that little like button. You click on that subscribe it there, and you click on that little bell, that cute little bell. And make sure you select all notifications so you know about content that's coming your way. Be kind, rewind, check out previous episodes you might have missed on demand and the downloads wherever you get your podcasts, including the new Amazon Music and Audible. Was checking out the numbers over the weekend, and I see that our numbers for those respective mediums has been growing. I like that. I really, really like that. It's now gotten to a point where when I look at the overall sources, Amazon Music and Audible is slowly creeping up to that number 2 spot. So, you know, not bad for really not doing that much plugging of those platforms. So we do appreciate our audience from those outlets. Much love. Get at me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Use the keywords, the RCWR Show, and get ready for a hell of a ride, man. We got a lot of content that's going to be coming your way all this week. So let's start it one day at a time. I'll see you this Tuesday night at the conclusion of the WWE Hall of Fame ceremony. I'll be live giving you guys my thoughts on it overall. Highs, lows, whole 9 yards. So tune in for that. Should be a lot of fun. Definitely look forward to hearing you all's thoughts on the Hall of Fame ceremony and all that. Any other little news we might be able to get into that's, you know, noteworthy, we'll definitely get into it on that Tuesday show. But for the most part, all we're going to be talking about is the Hall of Fame ceremony. So we'll see how that goes. All right. Again, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Use keywords, the RCWR Show. Till next go round. Wishing all y'all to be safe. Most importantly, kind to one another. I will see you all next go round. Adios.